Welcome back to Clear Up Misunderstood Facts, where we work together to shed light on long-standing misconceptions that have lasted for decades. Today's episode is about something familiar, something almost everyone has heard of, or even feared: fat. And the controversial question: does eating fat make you gain weight? The short answer is, not exactly. But to truly understand why, you'll need to listen all the way to the end of this podcast. Trust me, there are some surprising things you might not know. Where did this myth come from? To understand the fear of fat, we need to go back to the mid-20th century. In the 1950s, heart disease had become the leading cause of death in the United States. Scientists scrambled to identify the cause. One hypothesis came from a researcher named Insulin, who suggested a link between dietary fat, especially saturated fat, and heart disease. His theory gained traction. Despite being based on limited and selective data, it shaped decades of nutrition policy. By the 1980s, low-fat diets were mainstream. Government food guidelines encouraged people to reduce fat intake. Supermarkets filled with fat-free and low-fat products, but here's what's ironic: as fat disappeared from the American plate, rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic disorders soared. So, was fat really the enemy? Or were we looking in the wrong direction? Understanding calories and energy balance, let's talk about calories. At the most basic level, weight gain happens when you consume more calories than you burn. Each macronutrient provides calories. 1 gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories, 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. Yes, fat is more calorie dense. But here's the catch: not all calories are metabolized in the same way. Your body responds differently to 100 calories of sugar than it does to 100 calories of avocado. Carbs, especially refined ones like white bread or sugary snacks, are rapidly broken down into glucose. This causes a spike in blood sugar, followed by a spike in insulin, the hormone that signals your body to store fat. Fat, on the other hand, does not spike insulin. In fact, it slows down digestion, helps regulate blood sugar, and makes you feel full longer. So while fat contains more calories per gram, it may actually help you eat less overall, especially when compared to high-carb, low-fat meals that leave you hungry an hour later. Types of fat: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not all fats are created equal. Here's a breakdown. 1. Unsaturated fats, the good guys, found in olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, fatty fish, like salmon. Benefits: improve heart health, reduce inflammation, support brain function. These fats are essential. Your body needs them and can't produce them on its own. 2. Saturated fats, the controversial ones, found in butter, cheese, coconut oil, red meat. These fats have been blamed for heart disease, but recent studies suggest moderate intake may not be harmful, especially when part of a whole foods diet. 3. Trans fats, the villains, found in processed snacks, margarine, fried fast foods. These are chemically altered fats that increase bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, and raise the risk of heart disease. Many countries have banned or restricted trans fats, and for good reason. Why your body needs fat? Let's bust a major myth: fat isn't just a source of calories. It's an essential nutrient. Here's what fat does for you: builds cell membranes, helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, produces hormones like estrogen and testosterone, protects your organs and insulates your body, supports brain development and function, keeps you feeling full and satisfied. In fact, dietary fat is especially important for women's hormonal health, brain performance, and skin integrity. When people go on ultra-low-fat diets, they often experience fatigue, mood swings, poor focus, and dry skin. Long-term fat restriction can even lead to fertility issues. The low-fat craze backfired. During the 1980s and 1990s, the low-fat trend took over. Food companies created thousands of fat-free products: snacks, yogurts, cookies, dressings. The problem? To make up for lost flavor, they added sugar, refined starch, and artificial additives. These foods were marketed as healthy, but they spiked blood sugar, triggered hunger, and led to overeating. Ironically, as people cut fat and increased carbs, obesity rates climbed higher than ever. It wasn't fat that made us fat. It was the processed, high-sugar, low-nutrient replacements. Healthy fats and metabolism. Let's dig into how healthy fats can support weight management. Fat keeps you full. Meals with fat digest more slowly and keep you satisfied longer. Fat balances hormones. Hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which control hunger, are influenced by fat intake. Fat supports fat burning. Your body can adapt to burning fat for energy, especially in low-carb or ketogenic diets. Multiple studies show that diets rich in healthy fats, not low-fat, are more effective for sustainable weight loss and improved health markers. So, how much fat should you eat? There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but here are general guidelines. Include healthy fats in every meal. Think olive oil on salad, avocado with eggs, or nuts as a snack. Don't fear saturated fats from natural sources like eggs or grass-fed meat, just don't overdo it. Avoid trans fats completely. Listen to your body. If you feel full and energized, you're likely getting the right balance. For most people, fat should make up 25 to 35% of daily calories, more if you're active or on a lower-carb diet. Final thoughts. Fat is not your enemy. Let's recap. Eating fat does not make you fat. Overeating, especially sugar and processed carbs, does. Your body needs fat for energy, brain health, hormones, and nutrient absorption. Not all fats are equal. Choose unsaturated fats, limit saturated fats, and eliminate trans fats. Fat can actually help with weight loss by keeping you full, satisfied, and hormonally balanced. So the next time someone tells you to skip the olive oil or throw away the egg yolks, tell them you know better now. Thank you for listening to Clear Up Misunderstood Facts. I hope today's episode helped you rethink everything you thought you knew about fat. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who still believes fat is the enemy. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and never stop questioning.